Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Principles of Management. I am Quentin SaLay, your instructor for this semester, and I am excited for the learning journey that is ahead of us. A little bit about me. In addition to this course, I am the Vice President and Chief Global People Experience Officer for Freewheel, which is a Comcast company. I have spent the past 25 plus years, hard to believe, building dynamic organizational structures and cultures, also developing C-suite leaders as an executive coach and driving business results. Academically, I completed my undergrad at the University of Maryland with a major in human resources and a minor in psychology. I then completed a global MBA at Tufts University, the Fletcher School of Law and Policy. Here's what I want to do today. Instead of jumping into the course content, I want to use this time getting to know each other. So I want each of you to be prepared to share who you are, where you're from, what industry you are in, or if you are a full or part-time student, and then share with us what brought you to this course. Here's my main objective today. In addition to getting to know you, my main objective is to give you a clear understanding of the course structure, the expectations, and how you can succeed. Let's talk a little bit about the purpose of this course, the course overview. The purpose of this course introduces the foundational concepts, the functions, and the roles of management in modern organizations. It is designed to help you understand how managers plan, how they lead, how they organize, and how they control to achieve the organization goals effectively and ethically. The topics that we'll cover, introduction to management, the topics we'll cover are the evolution of management. We will look at planning and strategic planning, goal setting, and decision making processes. We will look at organizational structure design and resource allocation. And we're going to talk a lot about leadership styles, motivation, communication, and team dynamics. When we talk about controlling, hear what that really means. That means performance management, it means quality control, and continuous improvement. We will also spend some time talking about ethics and social responsibility. This is all about managing with integrity in a global context. We will also have conversation and discussions about innovation and change management. So this is all about navigating organizational change and fostering innovation, particularly in what I refer to as a VUCA world. That is a world of vulnerability, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And then we will talk about diversity and inclusion and what it means to build an equitable and inclusive workplaces. So here are the skills that you will develop in our time together. Critical thinking and problem solving, effective communication and collaboration, strategic analysis and decision making, and leadership and team management. All of this wrapped around with ethical reasoning and cultural competence. So the course goals that we will talk about, uh, they will focus on let's just talk about the weekly topics. So I'm going to provide a high level overview of the weekly topics, and I'm not going to cover all 12 weeks, but I'll pick a few just to give you some insight into how we will be moving through these course materials. So we're going to talk about management, but also from a historical perspective. This is about defining management because I want you to see and understand its evolution. We'll talk about Frederick Taylor, introduce you to him, who really delved into scientific management and how it influenced modern efficiency practices, such as time motion studies, particularly in the Amazon warehouses. We will also spend some time on organizational environment and culture. This is about exploring internal and external factors that shape our organizations. And a good example there is when you think about Google's open culture and innovation. That open culture and innovation driven environment, we will talk about that as a case study. Also, strategic planning and goal setting, really explaining vision and mission and SMART goals, and analyzing companies like Tesla's mission to accelerate sustainable transport, how it guides its strategic decisions. I'll hit a couple more and then we'll move on. Decision making and problem solving. Here I will introduce rational and intuitive decision making models. We will walk through a SWOT analysis for a startup deciding whether to expand it internationally. And then this is important for you to know, we will look at organizational structure and design, comparing functional, divisional, and matrix structures, even looking at how Apple uses this functional structure to really maintain control over their product design and innovation. Couple more things I want to point out here and then we'll move on. But talking about on week 7, motivation and team dynamics. Here we'll explore Maslow's hierarchy, but bump that against Hertzberg's two-factor theory. This will be a team project scenario where we will show how recognition and autonomy can boost motivation. And then communication and organizations, emphasizing verbal, nonverbal, and digital communication. We will look at such technology like Slack, how Slack transformed internal communication at companies like Airbnb. And then the last thing I will hit here is in week 10, where we'll look at ethics and corporate social responsibility and diversity. So we will define ethical decision making and corporate social responsibility as it relates to the environment, as it relates to race and gender and sexual orientation, and how that impacts the environment. From the work environment, but from an environmental perspective, we will talk about Patagonia's their environmental activism, because they are a leading corporate social responsibility best-in-class practice. It is important that we talk about global management so that we can discuss cultural intelligence and global strategy. Global is now local, and we will use the case study of McDonald's, how McDonald's adapts its menu and operations in different countries. So lots to unpack there. So let's talk about some of the technology tools that will be used during this course. Of course, we will use our learning management system. This will be your central hub for everything: announcements, assignments, grades, course materials. So make it a habit to check in there regularly. We'll also use Turnitin, where we'll use it for written assignments, and that will help you improve your writing style, but it will also ensure academic integrity. And then we will use Zoom and Microsoft Teams. I can use either of these platforms for our office hours, group meetings, or any remote sessions. We will use Google Workspace and Microsoft 365 for collaboration. I love polls in class. So we'll use Kahoot and Poll Everywhere. We'll use these as interactive tools for quick knowledge checks and to make learning more engaging. And as it relates to class policies, your consistent presence is and active participation, it's essential, not just for the grade, but also for the quality of our discussions. We will be exploring real world management scenarios, and your voice adds value to the learning experience. As it relates to assignments, assignments are due on the dates that are listed. If something comes up, please communicate early. Late work will be accepted, but there is a penalty. I talked about academic integrity already, but I do want to highlight classroom conduct. Respect is non-negotiable. We'll be discussing diverse perspectives, and it's important that everyone feels heard and safe to contribute. And then lastly, for communication, you can reach me via email or LMS. I typically respond within 24 to 48 hours. And then there's group work. We will have a number of group assignments, and this is a key part of the course, and everyone is expected to participate. When we look at our grading, as it relates to grading, your presence is an engagement. It's expected. This portion of your grade is 10%, so participation and attendance. For weekly quizzes, they're 20%. They're short quizzes, but they help reinforce key concepts from lectures and readings. Case studies are 20%. You'll analyze real world business scenarios. I think you'll find this part of the course very engaging so that you can apply management theories and decision frameworks. It'll also help you think critically and connect theory to practice. And as I mentioned, group projects, they are 25% of your grade. The final exam is 25% of your grade, and that will assess your understanding of the full course content, and it will include multiple choice, short answer, and scenario-based questions. Final tips: think like a manager, stay organized, engage in the class, connect theory to practice, use your resources early and often so you don't lose pace, reflect on your growth, respect diverse perspectives, and most importantly, enjoy the journey. This course is more than a grade, it's a foundation for how you'll lead, collaborate, and solve problems in any career path. So let's make it count. Looking forward to the semester.